Good evening, everybody. I'm very tired, but I have to do this video for my Boilermakers. There's been a lot of posts. There's actually a lot of actions coming here. 3 different actions on September 7th. I'm going to go through that as it's done on the 7th of September. It's outside of what Newton-Jones is filing in appeal, and I want to get through that tonight for all Boilermakers, Americans and Canadians. So Newton-Jones had lost. He had lost his filed court actions, and more than that, there was a summary judgment made by our international vice presidents, Canada and US, that had filed against him. And they had won that a portion of it, and it ended the tyrant Newton-Jones. Now, folks, and this is for Americans and Canadians, everybody's up in arms. Jones is filing an appeal. There's the District Court Appeal of Appeals, and there's also the Supreme Court of Kansas. It's a state-level Supreme Court. Jones has either or option out of the district courts, meaning he can go through the Court of Appeals process where a panel of judges will be assembled, selected actually by the chief judge, and there's 3 of them. There can be up to 14, but generally in cases like this it will be 3 assigned. Now they're going to look for any errors they figure the Chief Judge Malgren made. Now, if that isn't the appeals process that Newton-Jones has chosen, he may have gone to the governor of Kansas, Laura Kelly. He may have done that, and he may get a Supreme Court of Kansas to hear his case, his appeal. I don't know yet. I don't have the answers for that. I'm going to email tomorrow morning and find out. But whichever way he goes, this can be stopped, and I know why he's doing it. It's not hard to figure out that the more time he can tie up in court and use up in court, the longer he can extend his life of ease. He can extend his time as a thief, as his party, his family, the Secretary-Treasurer, as thieves who stole from us, and it's probably a lot larger than just $500,000 amongst 3 individuals. It's probably a lot larger than that. We've gotten this far, no panic. This is what criminals do, especially wealthy criminals who've stolen their entire lives. That's what they do. There's lots of rich frauds and phonies that have gone on for many years using up appeals processes, seeking them all out, probably using the money they stole from us to do it. Don't lose heart. There's other avenues we can take when we know which court and which process he chose. When we figure that out, we're going to be able to go forward with many other actions. And there are 3 other actions going on right now. We're going to have an answer to what those are September 7th, and I will publish that. It's still too early. Jones is fighting for his right to be a thief, to continue on. It's not uncommon for many criminals in his white-collar world to pull these stunts. They do it to hold the time so he can grow old with his wealth and his crimes and get away with it. This is my video. Don't get all panic and don't think that this is going to be carried on forever and a day. The panel of judges that he could possibly get the appeal process through the Court of Appeals was actually created in part by Chief Judge Malgren. So if he made his decision, it's his appointed panel that will have to look at how he made his decision and if he erred. And it may be possible, maybe there's some legal arguments. The beautiful thing I found with the United States of America is Supreme Court justices will actually speak to you. I've spoken to two American Supreme Court justices. I've had the great privilege. That's not even possible in Canada for an average person. I've had that great privilege. And Just so all Boilermakers know, coming was just released less than a week ago, 6 days ago. The Supreme Court of the state of Kansas is hosting at a school this coming November, all public, any Boilermaker, you can show up. They're going to have a 2-hour public docket at a school, real cases, by the Kansas Supreme Court that is selected by the governor on cases. So Jones has that ability. And if that's what he did, come November, folks, any Boilermaker can go to that presentation. You get to meet the Supreme Court justices of Kansas, the state of Kansas, through their district system, and you can speak with them one-on-one. You're going to get one night of your life to hang out and speak with all the Supreme Court justices. So if that's the route Jones did, and he did it through Governor Laura Kelly, fear not, you can get all your questions answered then in November. Amazing thing. I may even book a trip well ahead, and I'll probably drive to make sure I make it. I may even go there. It's an excellent opportunity, something no Canadian could ever get, not outside of some kind of elite first class scenario. They wouldn't let average folks like myself or any other Canadian Boilermakers ever do something like that. But not in America. America, it's an independent judiciary. It's very public. A lot of the things I was trying to present to the American Boilermakers, the petition system, how to get the governor working for you, the few people, we the people, they have the protections there for you, and they're ready to educate you. So if that is the road Jones took, we can take this road too. It's free. You can learn a tremendous amount. I'm likely to do that. I'm not scared of what Jones is doing. It's just how long in his plan, in his legal system defense, is to drag things out so that he doesn't have to make reparations or have criminal action brought against him. I think we still will be able to. We'll see what comes of the 7th. I want to release all that to everybody. But don't lose heart. Don't think that this is going to go on for years and years and years. One thing I learned from America Supreme Justices at the highest federal level, your highest federal court, not the state level Supreme Court. We're talking the federal Supreme Court of the United States. I learned that watch lawyers, they actually tell you that. Just like Chief Judge Malgren said, there's a lot of lawyer mischief in this case, and people trying to enrich themselves off of us, the hardworking folks. Now, this is common practice in Canada, and there's no way to get out of it in Canada, but not in America. Those justices really are for you. And again, November, a great education. I put a link in this title for the appeals process. We can actually write every judge if he goes through the appeals process, and we can get a whole bunch. I'm still going to email Chief Judge Malgren tomorrow morning to ask questions, and I'm sure they're going to give me a lot of answers. It's amazing. I can't believe how open the judiciary is in America. It's incredible. They definitely are for the people if you ask the right questions and you go through the process. So I'm not too worried about Jones. I think he's finished. He's just trying to drag it out for as long as humanly possible as he can. Why would he do that? Well, he can liquidate his life. He could move on to Ukraine, and maybe that's his plan. I would think it would be. Lots have done that before him in many different walks of life. I apologize for doing the video publicly, but it's the only way to do it. I'm very tired. I'm on a tremendously taxing job right now, and it's just easier for me to make the video. If people are upset with that, well, this was made public by Jones and the union, and it's to clean it up. I don't believe we should be feeling like we're being humiliated. It's a reality that's throughout the world. and it sets a great precedent for everybody else. It shows transparency. It shows that we would share that with the public too. And like I said, two processes are the only two processes available for the Tyrant Jones, and either way, we've got it covered, folks. We've got it covered. So Boilermakers, don't lose heart. Don't get scared that somehow this is going to go on for decades and decades and Jones is going to get away with all the money, because he's not. We can shut him down pretty fast. More is happening on the 7th, and even if he delayed, I promise you, we can get everything checked and balanced and answered and articulated absolutely by latest November at that Kansas meeting with the Supreme Court of Kansas. Again, that is by Governor Laura Kelly and only Laura Kelly. Then there's the appeals process, the only other system he could go through. One of those two, one takes the governor, the other takes those judges, again, appointed by the chief judge, sitting on that appeals court to find error with what he did. Either way, we'll have answers in just weeks and at most maybe months, and we'll have a path forward. And I promise you there is many paths forward by you, the American people, you, these American Boilermakers, who can get the job done and see Jones put down pretty fast. We could do that pretty fast, and there's many avenues you, the people, we together, but you, the American people, can take. It's not over by a long shot, and we have tremendous things that are happening right now, and even our IVPs are filing. So let's wait for September 7th. Beyond that, worst possible case going forward is Jones, worst possible case, Jones was able to get the ear of the governor, and somehow she's allowed that to go forward, him filing in the Supreme Court. That would be the best he could ever hope for to get, and even still, I don't see him winning anything like that. And if they do hear the case, it'll be sometime we're going to have the ability to meet those Supreme Court justices one-on-one in an evening at a school where we can ask all the questions live we want with them. Never been done before. So don't lose heart. It's amazing. It's amazing to see, and it's going to be okay. It's all going to work out. I'm faithful of that just in mere months, we're going to have everything figured out, and hopefully there's a path to restoration. Snap of a finger like that. Hopefully we see some constitutional amendments so nothing like this in our organization